this another set he's getting ready to shred the pieces? We'll find out. It's the Vikings going up against the Bills. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Gotton and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 12 matchup.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National.
So in our previous lesson, we learned how to write a very basic HTML web page, and it looked exactly like this. We learned how to open an element, close the element, and I promised that today's lesson would learn how to link multiple pages together, and create links, or create a mini website. And before we do that, we really need to learn the basic structure of an HTML file, because we were sort of cheating in our first lesson. So to begin, all HTML web pages begin with the HTML start tag and end.
So here we go, first and 10 now.
Next, all of our actual content goes in a body tag. Start the body tag
this
here.
is TJ Yeldon. And the spin looked pretty, but more for style points as the real estate evaporated quickly there.
Each page has a
despite
head
this
section.
list of key inactives that we see here, they've
And the
obviously
head
still been
section
pretty
is
successful.
where we title
Give
it.
everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself.
And really quickly, I'm just going to edit
no
the font
excuses
size
for
in my
guys being out.
notepad.
Finding guys who are
it can all
capable
film screen
backups who
once
can
and
step
just
up and
post
play
it.
when they
So
need
let's
them,
recap.
and we've seen the
Got our
results of that.
HTML
This
start
team knows how to
and
work
tag.
through things.
Got our
The
head
offense is
section
doing a
with our
nice
title.
job selling
And
the
we've got
action
our body
pass.
section.
A lot of responsibility
That's the basic
shifts to the
structure of
linebackers. They're the
HTML
ones that have to
file.
determine run or pass and get to the
So
proper
let's
places
save
on the
this again
field.
as test HTML.
They'll look to throw now on first down.
Fire up our web browser.
Over the middle to
File.
Diggs. A gain of 6 there first. And he's already got 2
There
catches
it
on
is.
the
It looked
opening
exactly the
drive.
same
They
as
know
my
he's going to
first
be a
lesson.
handful.
And sometimes you game plan for
But
that.
you notice now we have a
offensively. You wanna make
title
sure that guy
right
touches
here.
the ball. Sometimes it just happens naturally, and then you
And
change
that
your game
comes
plan.
from
When
our
he
head
has the
section,
hot
our title
hand,
section.
you keep going back to him because he's running routes
Okay,
with
so now that
confidence
we
as
have
the
the
game goes
basic
on.
structure from HTML file down, let's go ahead
Just do
and
get
add
the
our first
playoff
link.
as he'll look to throw.
Let's add it above
They can't
our
bring him
head.
down.
The weight room does work.
The HTML code to add a
Here,
link is
and this will
A.
be caught.
Short for
It's a
anchor.
10-yard pickup, and it moves
Inside
the
our anchor
chains.
tag,
And the
we'll have some
pocket's been
text that
protected pretty
reads,
good here so
click
far in the
here
opening
for our
drive.
new-
We always talk about confidence and runners, catchers,
Not
and
that simple, though.
quarterbacks.
We need to
How
tell the
about
web browser
protection
where to
detail?
look.
They're not
Now
allowing anyone near the guy
we're
throwing
going to
the
use
football.
an HTML attribute.
Now
This is the
back to
first time we've
throw.
seen this.
And complete. Right side, the tight end
href, which is basically telling
It's
the
a
browser
really
where to
nice
look.
15-yard
Equals,
pickup,
and this is
and
where
now
we
it's
add
first and
our
goal.
value to this
And how
action.
about this first drive? They're
The
being
value is
aggressive,
gonna be
slinging it around.
Really confident, too,
New
because they're not
page.
trying to fool him with
HTML.
running plays, throwing it,
Let's go ahead and
they're being
save our
very
page again
successful
and
right now.
refresh it in our
They made
web
goal line
browser.
offense a priority on the
We
practice
now have a
field
link.
this week. This is the
Click it.
situation they've been prepping for.
Things fall apart because we
able to
haven't
push
created
his
that new
way
page.
forward
So let's
here
go
for
ahead
good little
and
gain.
create a new page.
They give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here
So
for
the
a
basic
second
structure.
and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yes, now second and
Alpha,
goal.
use this
The
structure.
end zone beckons. It looms. They want full playbook. Run
Could
it
have actually
again,
just copied and
or they
pasted
go
our old
play
file,
action and try
but
and put
we're
it in
supposed to be
that way.
learning.
Trying to finish off this
Repetition
opening
can help you.
drive from the 3. This is third and goal. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in. A Viking
So we're just going to create a link on our new page
Laquan
that takes us right back to our
His
first page,
sixth
just to create a
touchdown of the
mini
season.
2-page
And the
website.
Vikings take the ball down the field and
So
score
again,
on their opening drive.
Our
Well, that's about
first
as
page
quick
was
of a
named
passing touchdown
test.
you'll ever see right now.
This.
The
And
Vikings offense now, they get ready
New
to head back
page
on the
dot
field.
HTML.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out.
now, when we go refresh our web browser of our
Confidence is
first
powerful,
page,
isn't it? When you scored
click
once,
here
you feel
for our
like
new
you can go
page.
back out there and get it done again. Doesn't
And
matter what the
go back
defense
to our
throws
original
at them.
page. We have a
They feel
working
like they're in a groove
2-page
right now,
mini
and they want to get out
website.
there and show it.
Yeah,
The
hoping to
files
stay
are
in that
written
groove here
in the
this
correct
go
structure.
around.
That was a
And
nice
that's all for
run
today's
slant
lesson.
route, and what the
To
receiver's
recap,
trying
we
to
learned
do
how to
is
create a
make the
link,
defender think he's going
and link
upfield
2 pages.
for a deeper route,
We learned
and
the
then
basic
breaks it off, usually
structure of an
after about 3
HTML
to 4
file.
steps, and
Starting
cuts
with
towards the middle
HTML
of the field.
tags,
And now what he's
head
trying to do
section,
is use his body to
and
keep the
body
defender
section.
away from the football and give the quarterback
Thank you very
a
much
really
for
nice
watching the
target.
video. I hope you
And
feel like you learned
defensively, they
something.
were in
And stay
coverage
tuned for
there.
more
You have to be a little
tutorials.
careful. You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone.
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. That play never got off the ground because of the defensive front. They owned the offensive line, which allowed the linebackers to see their openings and run straight to the ball. That's why that play just never had a chance. It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. To the 3rd and 13 here, the defense in a dime look. And he comes back with one complete. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
A very solid gain of 27.
But it appears that they read defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And now he'll let it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Their dangerous wide receiver, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in. And now out comes Minnesota. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
Naturally, we're going to say it was a poor pass, but the defensive guys say it was just a...
And now out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his 2nd there. Well, he just threw an interception last drive, nearly another pick.
And things aren't very even right now, are they? It's a little bit sloppy out there, isn't it? It's kind of different from driving on those paved roads and those country roads that have those potholes in them, isn't it? That's the way this game's going right now. A lot of bouncy bounce to it.
You spent some time on some Tennessee country roads.
I certainly have. Plenty of family back there. God love them.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They'll set up a throw. Surveying the field. Looking left side, it's complete. They get this inside the 30. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
A first down carry now for Yeldon. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And, this is taking him one-handed. What a catch. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
they
don't
get that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end is going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. They'll look to throw again. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point kicker. Exactly. You put it through. That's good contract time. But that offense, I think I'm in the zone.
I don't know if that helped him in the contract. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
And his throw here's incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. And with that complete, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Personal foul. Play mask. Defense.
And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Back to throw again. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. The last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. And his guy. And now out comes Minnesota. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out.
Brandon, what we just saw there is something we hear from coaches throughout the league. How are you going to defend what they call the moment of truth ball? Meaning a 50-50. The ball's in the air, defender's there, receiver's there. Who's going to make a play on the football? And in this case, the defensive guys actually got it done.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown. But when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it. Extra DB on the field for the Bills here on third down.
Well, maybe thinking pass. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He'll buy some time right. And that will be incomplete as well. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their session of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides.
The 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs with a lucky number 13 touchdowns on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches, and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute.
And now out comes Minnesota. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. Let's see how they adjust. One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly. Just head downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they hit the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but so incomplete on down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. They go up top again. And he couldn't hang on to it through contact. Incomplete.
On every
It's set to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the net with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency to them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
For the middle here to Rudolph. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Well, it's obvious to me that the big guy is beyond locked in. We saw last week a scintillating performance. We're seeing it again. I think he and his coordinator are in lockstep right now.
Sometimes a tip of the cap to the guys calling the plays here. Yeah.
Calling the plays, setting the game plan, sitting with him during the week, watching tape as they formulate it. You know, the best ones, they listen to their guy and say, okay, we like this play, you don't like that play, and that helps them formulate what they're going to do.
They're calling a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard pass.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Aaron Williams. And they take possession of the... And out now come the Vikings. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback. Number 4 is kind of like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. A look to throw now on first down. Over the middle, he's got Treadwell. Still on his feet. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3.
Holding offense.
So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situation, tougher to pick up first downs.
Yeldon, the lone running back. Back to throw. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And they went big on first down. Proves unfruitful.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You played through the receivers. Now, on that play, that's exactly what it and batted it away.
And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Rudolph, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Vikings.
Brandon, is there any way you and I can join this quarterback in the zone he's in?
And now out comes Minnesota. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can put together a drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And out comes Minnesota. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw it out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care. You have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And the coach has decided to throw the red flag. He will change this play. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
They pick up a 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, it's complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll look to throw. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
While an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play, for the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
They'll set up a throw. And that is incomplete. And now out comes Minnesota at the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Now he'll look to throw here. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by and the Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he shot.
Yeldon, the lone running back. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Looks like a dip cut here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. He'll look to throw. And he's got Rudolph. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
And that pickup of a 1st down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
A couple of Bills team up to bring him down there.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was a... Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the zone.
Unable to connect on the 1st down pass play. Now it's 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. He only got a couple on that, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They have the lead, still a 1-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way.
Now the Bills will take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They come out here in the eye. On 2nd down, here's Yeldon. And he is going to lose yardage here. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll look to throw here. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that.